Huge thanks to Modus Games for the early access to the demo. I'm going to put my bias in full view by saying that Paleo Pines is one of my most anticipated indie games of the year. I love dinosaurs and I love farming games, so I'd have to be completely out of my mind to not salivate over this game and stare at its Twitter page like a hawk waiting for any updates. But thankfully the wait is almost over, as I was lucky enough to not only get an early peek at the demo, but the devs also blessed us with a release date for the game. So let's have a look-see, shall we? We start off by creating our little farmer. The character creator is basic, but does give you the freedom to somewhat create yourself in your image without any sort of gender restriction. It's not something you see a lot of games do, but thankfully it's slowly becoming the norm. I'd love to see some body sliders or even facial hair and accessory options like piercings, tattoos, or even glasses. I understand that the focus lies on the dinosaurs and the world itself more than our characters, but we will be staring at our farmers quite a bit, so it would be nice to have a little bit more customization in that department. But then again, who knows? These might be added later. Still quite a bit of time until September after all. As soon as we arrive, we are not only introduced to our ranch of operations, but more importantly, our cute dinosaur helper Lucky. She's our starter Pokemon, if you will, and also our cute tutorial as she quickly helps us get accustomed to the controls while teaching us how to pet her and give her treats, because she's a good girl and absolutely deserves them. After all, if it weren't for her, we wouldn't be able to clear the debris in front of our cabin to be able to get some rest. I mainly used keyboard and mouse during the demo, and it was definitely responsive and okay, but I feel like this game is better played with a controller, as you'll have a little more control over your movements and where your farmer is aiming. This becomes more apparent when you start doing some farming, but it was never annoying or anything. I just had to adjust often to make sure I was aiming the right way. The one thing that was annoying was that the game doesn't tell you what the controls are anywhere, and you can't change your keybinds. I really hope that this is only the case because it's the demo, because not only does the player obviously need to know the controls, but changing keybinds to make the gameplay more comfortable is also an important accessibility option. While I'm on the topic of options, it would be really great if we had a few more accessibility ones, such as different colorblind modes or even text-to-speech. I will say, however, that the existing audio options are already very good. After getting a good night's rest, we meet our first neighbors, Mari and Owen, and this is where I start noticing how weird the humans in this game look. Maybe it's the huge heads combined with how slim their necks and limbs are, along with their doll aesthetic they have going on, but sometimes they just creep me out a little. They don't look bad overall and certainly fit with the world around them. Some NPCs look absolutely fine and don't suffer from this factor either, but I'm definitely glad that the dinosaurs look really cute in comparison. Regardless, our new neighbors tell us that lucky species, the Parasaurolophus, oh god that's fun to pronounce, is quite the rare breed, as the herds haven't been seen in years, even though proof of their existence does exist in Paleo Pines. And this is how we discover our main motivation and quest for coming to the island: finding the herds of those, so that Lucky doesn't feel alone in the world. Mary and Owen tell us to visit Pebble Plaza and get acquainted with the townsfolk before leaving us a nice housewarming gift and heading off. The early game is very much like Stardew Valley. Your ranch or farm is pretty run down, so you have to clean it up, meet everyone in town and establish relationships, start planting some crops until you slowly but surely get the whole operation running smoothly. Of course, in Paleo Pines you can't just simply do that by yourself, which is where our dinosaur friends come into play. Lucky has already taught us that she can clear out debris for us, but she is a living being just like we are, so she can't work forever. She also needs her rest. Every time a dinosaur completes a task, however, they get some EXP and eventually level up, increasing their maximum stamina, which will overall make your life easier, so you're effectively training your dinosaurs into being even better helpers. I decide to mount Lucky and head off into the plaza to meet more townsfolk and take a look at the town and the market themselves. And this is where we first discover the Viridian Valley and its beautiful dinosaur-filled landscape. It's also where I'm going to step in to talk about the game's visuals. Simply put, it's gorgeous. Everything is vibrant and colorful. The water, the trees, the rocks, the buildings, the pathways, everything looks nicely designed to make sure the dinosaurs don't stick out like sore thumbs or look out of place. Paleo Pines is their home, and I can definitely buy it. And of course, speaking of the dinosaurs themselves, they are obviously the stars of this whole show. They look incredibly cute and cuddly with incredible little details. Unsurprisingly, they are the best part of the game visually, and I really can't wait to see what other dinosaurs are going to be added after the game releases. I also hope we get some plushies of them, because I would definitely buy them. We reach the entrance of the plaza and meet Granny Agami, who tells us that dinosaurs are not allowed inside of the plaza, as it'll become a bit of a bull in a china shop situation, which is fair enough. I found the plaza itself to be somewhat small, but I do get the feeling that when we visit other biomes, we'll find other plazas like this to visit with their own little shops. There isn't much to say about this place really. It's where you come to do your shopping or selling and also accept some side quests from the job board. Granny Agami sells seeds, Corlin is your general shop, Pippin sells dinosaur treats, and Marlo is your go-to guy for dinosaur pen building. Besides those useful NPCs, you have some random people running around who are sometimes rude when you talk to them, which I found kind of funny. Let's talk about building pens for your dinosaur buddies though. Marlo is a chill dude and gives you some nice starting tools to start getting some work done on your ranch. But more importantly, he teaches you how to build pens, how they work, and as I've said before, sells you the fences, gates, and feeding troughs that you need. So it's time to build Lucky a proper pen. I was incredibly impressed with this game's building system. It's incredibly simple and intuitive, especially on keyboard. You put down one fence and then use your WASD keys to draw the rest of the pen. It's really well done and gives you a nice bird's eye view to make it even easier. Wonderful. After the pen is completed, we say farewell to Marlo and are left to our own devices. There's quite a bit more to the pens themselves, but we'll get to that in a minute. Meanwhile, I decided to plant some carrots and get a feel for the farming aspect of the game. And sure enough, it's similar to Stardew. Your stamina decreases as you do tasks around the ranch until you're too exhausted to work. One thing that is different, however, is how you can use the journal to learn more about crops, how long they take to grow, what season they're from, what care they need, just about everything. The journal is an incredibly useful tool which, if used correctly, can replace trips to Google or the game's eventual wiki, which I'm very much a fan of. You can use it with pretty much everything, so long as you bring it out and take notes of the thing you're looking at. Historic sites, points of interest, dinosaurs, and even mysterious broken artifacts. With the carrots planted, I decided to hit the hay and bring on the next day, which welcomes me with the appearance of Agami, who came by to teach me how to plant crops. The thing is, however, I had already done that the day before, and funnily enough, the game acknowledges this and simply skips the tutorial, which I was not expecting, but I very much welcome. This effectively means that experienced players can simply skip any tutorials without any hassle, which will make future playthroughs much easier to start with less tutorials slowing them down. Good stuff. On this day, we're also introduced to the flute, which is very important to befriending our not-so-little dino friends. Lucky gives us a quick tutorial on how it works, but the true in-depth tutorial lies with Mari in the Viridian Valley. In order to befriend a dinosaur, you first need to play a little minigame with them by getting their attention with your flute. If the dinosaur listens to you, they will sing the song of their people to you. If you successfully mimic this friend call using your flute, they will approach you, which will then lead to another but a little more challenging minigame. After you've gotten the dinosaur's full attention, you need to know what treats or food they enjoy so they grow more interested in you. Pick the wrong food and they'll grow bored of you. You have to carefully balance the meter on the bottom right so it lands perfectly on the dark green patch. If a dinosaur is too excited, you have to soothe them to lower the meter. If they're bored, you have to feed them. But be careful, if they grow too bored of you, they'll just fall asleep and you'll have to do the friend call again. It is a bit of a balancing act all around, but it is a very fun one that makes you want to learn more about these creatures and study them. Eventually, you'll get it perfectly right and the dinosaur will befriend you, at which point you're allowed to name them. And that is how I met Oliver. This silly goose is very helpful at watering crops, but not quite right away. First he needs to trust me enough to become my helper, which we'll get to in a minute. After sending Oliver back to the ranch, I go to the plaza to pick up some seeds and look at the job board. Marlo seems to have lost his hat around Owen's dinosaur helper pan, Bongo. I pick it up thinking it shouldn't be too hard to find, so I grab Lucky and off we go at the speed of sound to find Marlo's hat. I must have spent at least an hour trying to find this hat, but it remained elusive to me. I ended up doing other things and checking Bongo's pen regularly to see if the hat was magically there on some other hour or day, but no, the hat was simply never found. Maybe it was a bug? Maybe it wasn't in the demo? Maybe I'm just blind as heck? Or maybe Bongo ate it. Back on the ranch, I decided that Oliver was going to live in the same pen as Lucky, seeing as I didn't have the money or resources to build him a new one, which thankfully didn't end up becoming an issue. If anything, Lucky was happy to have a pen mate. What was an issue was trying to split stacks of herbivore food so that I could feed both of my dinosaurs. I ended up having to buy different stacks of food for each of them instead of splitting them evenly, as I couldn't find a way to split the stacks and the game doesn't tell you what the controls are anywhere, so yeah, that was a bit of an annoyance. Either way, it's time to talk about pens and dinosaur needs. Have you ever played Zoo Tycoon? If so, then you're going to be pleasantly surprised, as Paleo uses a similar system to make sure your dinosaur helpers are happy in their pens. There's a few things you need to keep your dinosaur happy and have them become a helper. Biome Compatibility. Every dinosaur comes from a different biome, and obviously they are the happiest when they are in said biome, so every bit of their pen needs to be a certain biome in order for them to be happy. Food. Self-explanatory, really. Every living being needs food after all, so make sure to go to Corlin's shop to pick up either herbivore or carnivore food for your buddy. A clean pen. Dinosaurs poop. I know, controversial, but they do. So keep the pen clean by shoveling up their poop like a good pet owner. It's not all bad though, because you can use it as fertilizer for your crops. And the most important item, a dreamstone. You can find dreamstones scattered around the world and bring them to your ranch. However, they need to fit the dinosaur's size and biome. For example, Oliver here needs a regular sized dreamstone upgraded to the Viridian Valley biome. These beautiful rocks allow your dino buddies to sleep soundly in the night and feel at home in their pen, so if you don't have one, your buddy won't feel at home in your ranch. With all his needs now met, after a couple of days, Oliver trusted me enough to become a helper on the ranch. So I saddled him up and he quickly helped me water my crops, which made my life so much easier as I usually would have to water them one by one with my watering can. What a good boy. And just as I was getting into the groove of things, growing the farm, trying to befriend the Triceratops looking cutie pie, and looking for that damn hat, the demo came to an end, leaving me craving more but ultimately very happy with what I saw. I most likely missed a couple of things as I was focused on exploring as much as I could, so if you found something that I haven't talked about in this video, leave a comment down below. All info is good info. So, all in all, what did I think? Paleo Pines absolutely deserves to be on your radar, especially if you're looking for a farming game with a twist. The teamwork between humans and cute dinosaurs is an amazing and wholesome idea that I absolutely adore and is incredibly well implemented here. Taking care of dinosaurs and making sure you give them a good home in your ranch injects one of the best parts of Zoo Tycoon into Paleo Pines, making you feel closer to your dino friends. The building system is really well done, the farming is pretty solid, the journal is a very helpful tool that is also very fun to use. You have an intriguing main quest line which gives you reasons to go out there and find ways to open the island up even more. There's just so much stuff to do and see. All of these wonderful things paired up with an incredibly colorful and vibrant art style, in which the dinosaurs definitely shine, make a great and cozy experience. Of course, there's also some things that I would love for the developers to add, such as the aforementioned accessibility options, letting us see the controls, letting us remap set controls, letting us split stacks, adding body sliders, facial hair and accessory options to the character creator, and also help me find the ever elusive hat. September 26 can't come soon enough, as I will definitely be picking up Paleo Pines and playing it like no tomorrow. You might even see me stream it on my Twitch channel, so make sure to follow me on there if you want to see my playthrough. But if you simply cannot wait and want to taste a little sooner, the demo will be available on June 19th for everyone, so look forward to it, and don't forget to wishlist the game on Steam as it helps out the developers as well. They've definitely made something incredible here. If you enjoyed this video and want to help me out, make sure to like the video, comment and subscribe. Your feedback is always appreciated, and if you guys want to see more of these types of videos, just let me know. See you next time. Until then, remember that I love you and I love that you exist.